So hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Just a disclaimer before the video begins. The video today we're going to shoot it in English because the topic of discussion today is American born confused Desis. Now, Tazina, before this video began, you told me that uh, the people, the teens and the kids who are labeled American born confused Desis, they actually don't really like this label.
Because of the confused word, right? They don't like them to be called confused, even though they do the best, but the cultural differences and a lot of other things are there, right? So they do get confused because one side is American, they are like fully American because they are getting education here, friends are here, they speak English, everything, right? And when they come home, they see all the Desi culture, like a Pakistani culture, and they do get confused which one to follow. Of course, they follow like what we are doing it, but it's like a battle for them always. And when you say that why don't like it, I mean, of course, nobody like to call them confused, right? That's the thing. Like here, like a lot of people say other, I'm not going to say the names, but like for us and for Indians and Bangladeshis, they say Desi. You guys are
Desi.
Desi. So even though we are like fully Americanized, some people don't even follow a lot of other things, but they they call like Desis. So yeah, I mean,
So
you know what?
okay,
Nobody likes the
so
label.
Tazina, tell me a bit about yourself. Were you always in America? Did you move to America, or were you originally from Pakistan?
Yeah, I born and brought up in Pakistan, Karachi, and then I got married, and I moved to US. And yeah, it's been like 15 years. I'm here, and I have kids. So yeah, and I see the differences, a lot of differences. What when my mom and my dad were raising up, they don't have to have like that kind of a struggle. What we face here as an American, like here we have a lot of challenges like schools wise and language wise and like culture, like definitely like which our parent, I never feel like they have to tell us like, okay, go read namaz and do that. It's like on like inbuilt, right? We as a kid, like when we were in Pakistan, I remember like my mom never told me to do these things because it's like when I see my mom doing it, my aunts doing it, we were like, okay, you know what, let's just do this. But now it's a struggle for, I think, all the Desi parents here. They do go through with like a lot of challenges, like for reading Quran, doing namaz, school wise, like there are like a whole lot of bunch of things. Yeah.
Okay, so do you like teach your children?
And the main issue about all of this is like you cannot force your kids to do so.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot like physically force them to do so. You are just like you can just request them or you can advise them, but you cannot
So
force
I
them.
remember Musa when I was a kid, like we used to, our parents used to like look at like a glaze of eyes and we were like, you know what? There you go. We have to just go with that. And now if you are looking for the
Exactly.
difference, if I see in my kids, like if I look at them and they're like, what? Hey, bro, what? I'm like, what? First of all, I'm not your bro. And you better call me mom or mommy. But they are like, okay, okay, okay. But I mean, even for you guys, I think like you guys can do that to your parents, right? But here, oh my God, like
Exactly.
you cannot even say that. And they're like, okay, like they seeks for other things. Like, okay, let me, my friends never do that. Their parents are not doing that. You guys are so strict. You guys are not letting us do this. So yeah, there are a whole lot of differences, I would say, that which we face as a parent, as a Desi parents, I would say, because we have like a background of a lot of education. We want them to, we tell them that, oh, you have to study, you have to do this, grade has to be good. Like I don't know how about you guys, like, but for us, like, oh, you have to get A, you have to be like engineer, doctor, or like, here you cannot say that. Here we have to ask them, okay, tell us, what do you want to do, what do you want to be? We are here to support you guys, come on, tell us. Yeah.
And in Pakistan, this
So like the main issue about the Asian children born in US
Mhm.
is like they are more keen towards being compared to the US culture rather than being
No,
more
I would,
lean towards their own motherland.
See, it depends. It
Or from their
depends.
origin, maybe.
See, it depends. It's not that they want to follow those routes like an American. They want to be like, because like if I don't know about other, I talk about my kids when they come to Pakistan and they see their grandparents, their aunts and uncles and their cousins, they are very happy to see them. And but when I say that, okay, can we go there for a year or 2 years, stay there, and they're like, no, mommy, we don't want to do that. We because the culture, they like it here more than in Pakistan. So yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we were talking about your children reading the Quran. Is it still the case? Because I think most of the kids nowadays, they don't actually like, even if they think they're like they if even if they believe they're like Muslims, they don't actually like practice Islam as a whole.
So here, I think like people are more into this. Like they are like more, they have to read, kids, they have to read namaz, they take them to a Sunday schools. And when I'm talking about my kids, if you ask me, like I made sure that my kids started early, earlier the better. So my son, who's like 11, he completed his Quran 2 years back. So and my daughter, she completed mashallah like last year she completed as well, and she's 9. So it's just that like it's depend on the parent to parent. I don't know about like US. I mean, US, I feel more people are into that. They want to make sure that they are connected to the roots, connected to this Islam. Like we do a lot of like iftars. My like kids start early, way early than I mean, when I was in back home in Pakistan, I remember fasting way like in Rajab, in Shaban, I used to fast. And now when it comes to my kid, I see that and I'm very, very happy for that. Seeing my kids are like, okay, we are gonna fast too, mommy. Are you fasting? Let me do that too. So that is like I feel like, okay, thank God they are following that thing. Completing Quran was a task, to be honest with you, Abdullah, because here there are like so many distraction, the games, you name it. I think in Pakistan also, I don't know about, I can't say anything about Pakistan. You guys are there, you can tell me about it. But here, um, telling them to read Quran, because I remember when I was in a vacation also, I used to take my Quran, like photocopy, I take the photos and I tell the teacher that you have to just make sure they are in that rhythm of reading it, because once they don't read it, they just forget it. And I know a lot of my friends who are like way older than me, their kids are like in their 20s, they are still doing the Quran with Molvis, and they come online and they read it, because they tell us that it's better to be connected with the Molvis, because then they don't read it. If nobody is coming keeping an eye on them, they're not going to read it. So I personally feel that here in US, we are more into that. We are more keen to teach our kids all these things, because we have Sunday schools, Wednesday nights, like boys' night out, which are like in host by mosque, and kids go there. For girls, they have like Friday nights. The girls go over there in masjid. They do all the baking, all the stuff in that Islamic culture wise, right? All these things, they are there. So yeah, you guys tell me how about in Pakistan?
You see, when in Pakistan, if like, I mean, you might be liberal, you might be like leaning towards the right, but whichever the case is, if I as a parent like tell my child you should do this, you should study this, then my child is gonna call me dictator and like not even listen to anything I'm saying, and they'll actually rebel with the parents, and like they'll do the opposite of what is like told to them.
What do you think? How here they are like more into it? Here they have like a Gora's friend, and they are like, oh my God, your parents are like so into this thing. Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. So we have to see all of those things. Like when we see all these things, and we are like, okay. And when my kid come and yell at me, like, oh, not yell, I would say when they come and they are saying, oh, like their parents are not saying that. You guys are saying it. I'm like, okay, that's their house, that's our house, and you are living in this house. There are rules and regulations you must follow, and there you go. And they have to listen to us in that. Like, I mean, of course, when it comes to me and my husband are like more, he's like more lenient towards that thing, but I'm not. I want my kids to learn all this thing, especially Quran education wise, of course, like I am like more into it, like they have to do these things, but they feel like, okay, you are very strict, you're telling us to do that. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind my kids labeling me with that. Later on they're gonna thank me, that for sure. Like I remember.
Yeah, I would say that it's just a human nature that if your parent is like more keen towards Islam, so they just want their kids to be the same as well.
See, I'm not considering myself like Khatun, like wearing all that hijab and all that. I feel I consider myself I'm very modern, but when people see, I'm like,
The
what?
study of Islam I'm talking about.
Yes, but when I say that I want my kids, so I know my rules and regulations, my boundaries and my things, and I know what I'm doing it. But I want my kids to know that they don't have to be like wearing hijab or wearing like shalwar kameez and doing all that things. No, they don't have to, but they should know their basic. They must know their roots. They must know what Islam is. When somebody is asking about it, they should know what things are. Yeah.
But see, when like you say like your kids are into Islam as a way of life, I think like by doing that, you are actually feel a bit more included in like in a group. Like you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll hang out with these people who are like also Muslims, and like so we can be friends and like get to know each other better.
If you ask me
You,
personally, Musa, I my like my son, he has more Gora friend versus Desi's, and he's like, it's totally their choice. Like if you personally ask me, like they will have sleepovers and they will come to me and they'll ask, can we have a sleepover? And I mean, as a mom, I want them to ask me for a Desi kids, like, and I want like, why not you're a, oh, why you're not asking me like with your
So
other
what's the
friend?
main issue? Like, what difficulties are they facing while making Desi friends or something like that?
It depends, Musa. Like it's not that they don't want to. They have Desi friends as well. It's depend like who they connected. And as a parent, that is our job to just see who is right. And I mean, my son who has like a friend still since kindergarten, now he's in middle school. So and
Mhm.
they are their friends. And if I tell them, oh, why you want to have like a sleepover with them? Why not with your other friends who are Muslim? And he's like, well, they are my best friend, they're my BFF. I'm like, oh wow, okay, so they are not, they are also, but I want to have hang out with them. So as a parent, I mean, if he's doing his task, which I'm asking for, I have to give him what he's asking for. A friend's choice, friends is the one thing that you make your own friends, right? So I cannot dictate.
So what's the reason that Desis don't form a group or form a community
So we have
abroad?
communities here. It depends. Like so I that's a good question you asked me, because here when people come from, like, let's say if I'm coming from Pakistan and I came to, and when I'm going for a university to study, to do some course or whatever, so there will be a Pakistani community students, and there will be Indian community, so we can go there
Mhm.
and again. But when it comes to Desi kid who born and raised up here, they have a totally different mentality. Some of them they will go, and some of them they don't want to, because they will like, okay, we have a vast range of group of people over here, and we're gonna be a friend with anyone. And that's pretty much, I feel like it has to be like that, because you cannot hold them, right? If you're holding as a parent, because it come from
So
inside.
it feels like that they consider themselves as US national. They're not basically
See,
Desis.
Musa, it's
They
not
consider
because
them US national.
it's not that it's they born like we born and brought up in Pakistan. So we consider, even though I'm not Pakistani anymore, but I still
Yeah.
consider myself Pakistani. Whenever Dil Dil Pakistan comes, I start dancing because that is my country. But when it comes to my kids, they're like, what are you doing? It's like that, because for them it's my country, not their country. Their country is US, and when the
Yes,
planted
for them,
religions come and
for
they
them, they
rise up
consider
and
themselves US nationals.
what is it?
For themselves, they consider themselves that they are US nationals and not some Pakistani or Indian.
So that's what they are. We don't have to tell them you are US national. They are. It's because they like they
They consider themselves. They don't they don't want to be linked to their origin country.
No, it's not that. They feel like, okay, our roots are from Pakistan. They know that. It is like that only. They know that, okay, we are from India, we are from Pakistan or Bangladesh or whatever. Like they know their countries. My parents are from there, but we are from here. That's how. And that's the fact, right? I mean, if I'm from here, if I born and raised up here, so I consider myself an American, right? Yeah, I born and brought up here. But for my kids, for my parents, I will say, okay, their roots are from Pakistan or whatever, like which whatever country they are from. Yeah. So that's what they say. It's not that they don't like it; they like it, but yeah.
Okay, so Tazina, in your household, do you like all speak English or Urdu?
Like in my home, like me and my husband, we speak in Urdu, of course. Like, but when it comes to kids, so they do understand Urdu a bit, I would say, because it's personal in my household, like, because my older one is autistic. He has some issues. So because of that, and some of the therapists and some of the like other like professional, they recommended us to just speak with English. So that was the thing that we started just speaking with them in English. So mainly in our home with the kids, when we communicate in English. So, when we speak, but my kids do understand Hindi, but it's not that they can answer you, reply back. Like when we say Salam Alaikum, so they say Walaikum Salam. That is just the basic things. But especially when my mother-in-law or father-in-law, they like that is like the one thing that I feel like they should know Urdu more. Like we put them in a classes, we do a lot of things for them that to learn Urdu also, but they are like they are here, right? So it's like it's English is the first language for them. Like Urdu is first language. It's like the Urdu words come right there for us, but for them English is their first language, so they cannot even just stop that. But they do understand a bit, I would say, because
No, that
since
language is the basic part of the country. So if they're not like they're not learning the language of the origin country, the one that country from which the parents belong. So don't you think that it makes them more making go away from the
no, you are
culture of
right.
their
And no,
origin?
no, you're right in that sense, because whenever my daughter comes to or my son come to Pakistan or different countries, so they do feel that disconnect disconnection, because in Pakistan the kids are more into Urdu, and like my daughter is like, oh, they are not talking to me, why this is happening. I mean, I want to talk with them because they're their first cousins, and they want to be with talking with. And I was like, okay, you know what, you try to speak in Urdu, because that is like that is our language, that is their language. You should try to. So they do try. It's not they are not trying, but see, I'm going to tell you one thing. It's very hard for them as a kid. Think about like when you are a kid or I was a kid, and we have like 2 3 different languages we have to just cope up with. It's difficult. Just imagine, like we are putting pressure. Like we have Quran, we have school studies, and school studies are not easy here. I mean, it is studies are hard. And then we have a pressure at home too, like to balance it out, everything all together. We are putting all that pressure to the kids who are like what, 8 9 10, like those are the ages. Like they, like I remember when I was a kid, I don't have a pressure like that. All the pressure I had, like reading Quran and going to the school, that's it. No like barrier, like language barrier, like anything, nothing like that. I don't know about you guys. Of course, I think you guys also haven't gone through with that kind of a pressure. Like what I'm saying is, when you are in that kind of a atmosphere, right, that makes it hard for you guys to just cope up with, because since me and my husband speak in Urdu all the time. So if my son is sitting, if I say, see, देखो ये क्या कर रहा है, इसके बारे में कुछ बोलो, and then right away my son is like, oh yeah, you guys are talking about me. I know you guys are talking about me. Don't say that. Don't do that. Like he knows it. Like we are talking about him. And even my daughter, like if I say something to my husband, look, ye kaam nahi kar rahi hai. Like I just try to communicate in Urdu so that they don't understand, but they do get it. They do say that, oh, you're talking about this for us, like we are getting it. So yeah.
Okay. Now, when we talk about parenting style, do you think your parenting style is a bit different from people who are living in Pakistan, or like you are Pakistani culture does have an influence on your parenting style in the US.
Oh, of course, we are Desi parent. Come on, that's what I was telling you in
But like
beginning.
in
Like,
Pakistan, if like a parent like hits his child or her child, no one can do anything about it. Like no one from the outside is gonna help the child. Like in that case, but like in the US or like in any country abroad, when a parent hits a child, like the child itself can like call the authorities like CPS or whatnot.
so we are Desi. So that won't, nothing can change it. Like I see like my friends who are born and brought up here,
I
and
guess that
they're
we are Desi answer this question that your parenting influence comes from Pakistan.
yes, of course. That's what I'm trying to say, that I am like from Pakistan, and that style will be
But you know,
there,
there's
right?
an issue that you cannot hit your children in US like a parent can in Pakistan.
So in Pakistan,
So what
parents
would
do
you
hit
say?
now. I mean, my question is that, do you guys do Pakistani parents do hit in Pakistan now? Now also? So yeah, here we cannot do that. Definitely not. Like here, if we do it, like they will be like, "Oh, you guys are hitting us." They will go to, because I mean, again, I would say it depend like whom your
They
kids
are
are
allowed to, you know, call
hanging
the
out.
authorities on parents.
Say one more time.
They are allowed to call the authorities on parents.
Oh, definitely. Yes. And then it's like a whole big 9 yards you have to deal with it. So definitely the parents here are like more careful than than in Pakistan, I guess, because I mean if parents are hitting, and like I remember as a kid, like my mom used to just like she used to look at me like an eye glaze, and that is more than enough for me to understand what she's talking about and what she want me to do. Like I mean, want me to do it or
Well,
not to do
so
it.
don't you think that this kind of leniency for kids makes difficult for parents to, you know, be
So
a good parent or
So I
something
remember
like
my
that?
mom used to say that बच्चे पालना लोहे के चने चबाने वाली बात है. Honestly, I feel it for us. It is like more लोहे के चने than anybody else, because um, here in US, like we feel like it's like crazy for everything. Like raising up, we cannot even yell at them. If we yell at them, they come back and they're like, "Oh, you guys are," और आंखें भी नीचे नहीं करते. They don't even look down. I remember like I when I was a kid, I was not allowed to look up and look into eye to my mom or a dad. But here they come, what? What? If I tell them that, okay, look down, don't look at me, write this. And they're like, what? We are looking at you. Is something wrong? I mean, like the etiquette. I mean, even though you're telling them, they are just trying to understand the process is like that, right? Because they here they teach them you have to look eye to eye. So yeah,
That kids out there can just look into your eyes and say that you cannot do it. While here in Pakistan or in India, a person who is like 30 or 40 or maybe in his 50s, if if his parents are alive, he cannot just look them in the eye and yell at them.
of yeah, like that's what, see, that is like the that's what I'm saying, like that's what the respect we gave to our parents. Here, I mean, I'm not saying they don't respect their parents, they do, but the respect is more like in friendly way. So how I am raising my kids are like, they come to us, and like I said before, like they come and they tell me, bro, my husband doesn't like it at all. Like he's like, oh come on, just mind it. You're not allowed to say that. I'm your dad, you better tell me that. But I'm more leaning in towards that I want to be a friend. I want to build a friendly relationship with my kids, because that's gonna help them in last, like when they go to their high school, because high school more like a like 10th grade, 9, 10, 11th, and 12th. That is like the toughest time for the kids. And especially in middle school also, they go through a lot of changes. I want to be with them so that if they want to have something, they can always come up to me and say, hey mom, this is what happening here. So like yeah.
I think if you like actually hit your child when he's growing up or like he's a kid, the child is not gonna come up to you and like tell him or your parent like what his problem is. Like if like he's being bullied at school, he's not gonna tell you like, oh, I was bullied at school today and like blah blah blah. So I think
Exactly
like
my point.
communication is the key, and like you can like convey your same message, but like not
In a
actually hitting
different
the
tone.
child. Yes.
Yeah, not in a hitting way, like in a normal tone, like because here I believe like they here and I think I can't talk about in Pakistan what is happening, but here I think they need more our support. That as a parent we are here for them. You guys can always come up to us and ask what's going on, what you need, and all that. Yeah.
But I would say that uh, too much leniency towards the kids, like like forming the communication and all that, being friendly with the kids. Don't you think that it demolishes the boundaries of respect and everything?
No, I don't think so, Musa. I don't think so. I mean, they are more into like they get that if we are not giving them where they will go because like we were talking about before, the culture is different and everything is different. If they are not getting that kind of thing from from parents, where they will go, they have to be at home. We have to provide them everything. That's what I think. It has to be the best thing to do it.
But I would say that it's pertinent to mention here the kids always go for help for, from their friends. They
If
don't
you're
look
strict,
towards their
if you're too
parents that
strict,
much.
see, Musa, when they are growing up, especially in their growing age, if they see the parents are more strict, they are not listening to them. We have to sit and listen to them, what's going on with them, right? Like even though if somebody is bully them at school, they're not gonna come and tell you, especially in their early age, like. And bullying is in US is like a very like main. I mean, what should I say? It's like it's a problem at schools.
A real, real common thing.
It's common and it's like it's frequently happening with all the time with the kids. So some of the kids don't even want to come and talk about it, about this to their parent, because we as a parent we take action like that. Okay, somebody bully you, what is it, what was that?
Okay, so like, how did you incorporate your Pakistani and like your American tradition culture? Do they still like dress up in shalwar kameez or like do like all that stuff?
Yeah, since the day they
So
born,
they
like
aren't
we
feeling
have it.
embarrassed about like being Pakistani
uh, they
because
certainly
like
love it.
most of the people living in Pakistan actually like they don't actually like being called or like actually like they don't want to be known as Pakistani.
No, I mean,
They feel like being ashamed of being called Pakistani.
oh, is it? Wow. No, you know what? That's a like a very good thing. I'm gonna tell you, like, my husband is from India and I'm from Pakistan. So, like, my son is like, they said, like, okay, you're from where? You know what he says? I'm from Pakistan. He said, like, I'm telling everyone I'm from Pakistan. I'm Pakistani. And nobody has to say anything. I'm Pakistani. I'm like, okay, that's nice. And like, it's their choice what they are gonna say it. So they have option of saying it Indian and Pakistani. So they choose always Pakistan over India. And I'm like, yes, that's a win-win situation. So yeah, I mean, since beginning, it's like yeah, it's again, it's a task like how you do it. Like, and since I said that Sunday school does help, and I mean, Sunday school does help in Islamic studies and Islamic way of teaching things. This is halal, this is haram. You guys can do this, you guys can do that. But at the same time, you as a parent at home, what you are doing, that is more like it's your job how to do it. And for yeah, so then Ramzan comes, they do fasting, they go for iftars like we do in Pakistan. So it's more of iftaris, we go for iftars and we do all those things. So yeah, they know, and they love it.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about career and education. Like in Pakistan, like many people, like kids or children living in Pakistan, they're actually pressured to do something. Like some of them are like pressured to do like engineering or like medical, being they want to become a doctor, but like it's not their choice, it's their parents' choice. Like you have to do this, like you have to go to school, this school, or like do this. Is it still the case with you in living in the US?
No, they can be whatever they want, but just we want them to study good. And they tell us, like, of course, we as a parent guide them. This is the things you guys can do it, but it's totally up to them how what they're gonna choose. Like we cannot tell them like, okay, you guys have to like. I remember like our parents used to be like, okay, one has to be engineer, doctor, lawyer, or all those things. But here, that's not the case. Like, of course, parents want them to be something, but we cannot, like, I don't know, like how they're gonna study, and like we cannot force. The forcing is not there, like because as a kid, like we got forced to do things, right? But them, they have that liberty, and they have so many things now to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so any advice you would like to give to like parents living in abroad or like Desi parents like who are raising the children in the US
You,
or like other countries?
I mean, who are here? I mean, the parents. I mean, I would say like be with friends with your kids since beginning. So if you are like a strict parent, your kids cannot come to you and ask for the help, because as a parent we are strict. We don't think that, oh, we think that okay, they're gonna come, like Musa said before. As a kid, like we always go to our parents. No, that's not the case. Here you have so many friends. You will go to your friends, and you don't know they are friends at their age, so you don't know what advice they're gonna give it to them. So as a parent, I would say for the other parents, they should be friends with their kids, and they should know their kids what their needs are, and forcing them for anything won't help them, because if we are too strict with them, they're not gonna come to us and talk about anything. Yeah, which we
But
need to know. Yeah.
like,
I think that's the case in Pakistan too, like Pakistan, India, or any other country, because I feel like if the parents are not close to us, I remember not telling my mom certain things, because I feel like, okay, if I tell her, she's gonna just tap it out. She's gonna yell at me like anything. But it's not that my mom used to hit me. No, I never got hit by my parents. But it's just that the scare, I was so scared with to her that, okay, if I tell her that, she's gonna get mad at me. But to our kids, I try, or my husband try. I mean, I won't say about my husband, but myself, I try to be like more lenient towards that. If they can come up to me and ask me anything, I'm there for them. Yeah.
okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This was about like parenting issues and cultural issues faced by children living in abroad and like in the US, etc. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you in the next one.